good Friday morning. It is a feel-good football Friday. Week 2 underway last night with a very entertaining game, and we head into this Sunday with a lot on the line for the two local teams that are currently still relevant, which is a good thing. We'll see if that continues into October. We know the Mets are going to be relevant in October, and last night we saw what we needed to see. We were thirsty for offense. We were screaming for it. We needed it, and they gave it to us. And let's hope it continues. That's one down. Let's get 3 more against this terrible Pirates team and continue to pull away and make sure you get the bye in the division title. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Good, Gio. I'm doing great. Our pick won last night, even
That's
though
right.
I thought they were going to win outright, the Los Angeles Chargers. But what a game! What a game! What a football game! And what a player Justin Herbert is. And I think. So if you watched last night's game, and we'll get to the Mets in a second, but if you watch last night's football game, this is what 2 starting quarterbacks that are at the top of the food chain in the NFL look like. And, Herbert looked like he had he may have a broken rib. He may have some internal damage going on or something because he got hit around pretty good last night. And then that last couple series, he was playing with whatever was bothering him on his left side. And, he could have ran for a first down on that last drive.
Yeah, and he couldn't muster
do
it
it
up. Yeah.
But then on, 4th and 3, he throws a seed right down the middle, and it's like right on the money. And then he, of course, throws a touchdown pass to get it to 27-24. And even on the interception return for a touchdown for the Chiefs by Watson, his guy, Gerald Everett, was trying to get off the field after the previous play. They were going hurry up down inside the 2-yard line. And they called a pass play, and it was to Gerald Everett, and he was not, he was out of it. There was something, either he was tired or he had gotten his head hit or something. Yeah, because he was asking off.
Right, he was asking off very, demonstratively, too, but because they ran the hurry-up offense and they wanted to catch the Chiefs off guard before they could make their substitutions, and, of course, the play goes to him. Now, I don't know if he's engaged.
I know what he's supposed to do. I know what he's supposed to do.
So what was he supposed to do?
He's supposed to go out and then come back under.
Okay.
And he just went out and never came back under.
Yeah, and that was
if he runs the route the way the route's supposed to be run and the way they practice it, it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown.
And
this
is
touchdown.
7th-round pick who picked this off and took it to the house, and he was flying. Nobody could catch him.
And let me tell you, that 7th-round pick, is urinating down his leg at that moment.
I'm sure.
Right before the play.
Yeah.
But Everett obviously did not do the right thing, and you could see both he and Herbert talking on the sideline, and that was probably what it was. I don't think Herbert knew or anybody else knew that he was trying to get himself off the field right before that play. But Justin Herbert had a whale of a football game last night in so many different ways. I mean, so many different throws, 4th down completions. I mean, he has basically got ice in his veins. And you could just see it. You could see everything that everybody believes about that young man was on display last night, if you could find it on Amazon Prime. And by the way, I watched on my laptop.
Yep.
Not laptop, iPad for most of the day until the Met game was over, and then I flipped it back onto the TV. But it was fine. I was watching both games.
Good.
And Carlos Carrasco gave you exactly what we needed from our starting pitching staff. Not a guy that hasn't pitched in 10 days. Not a guy that hasn't pitched or is doing a spot start for the Mets. We got one of our starting 5 out on the mound, and he had 11 strikeouts. Now, when you look at Carlos Carrasco here this second half, with the exception of 2 really bad outings, once unfortunately against the Braves and one against the Washington Nationals, he has been really, really good.
Yeah, consistently good. And you needed both ends of it. You needed a good performance by him, and you needed hits. And I was way more concerned about the offense than anything else last night, especially against this Pirates lineup that had won 4 in a row coming in. But I was really worried about the bats being, contagiously bad. And they broke out last night. And Daniel Vogelback, one of the guys who we've been slamming now for weeks with not getting it done, finally got the big hit. And then Francisco Lindor with the home run, and you felt great about them scoring some runs. But, this has to be the game that breaks them out of it for good now. I don't want to see them come out 1-2 runs again tonight. I want to see them continue to beat up on this bad pitching and take all 4 of these games from the Pirates. You got swept by the Cubs. Unacceptable. You got 3 more games against the Pirates here as the Braves take on the Phillies. Win all 3 of those games at home.
Right, and there's no spot starter. There's nothing. You have your rotation this part of your rotation is healthy, and the next time we see Scherzer, he'll be back in Milwaukee at the next week, and your starting rotation is healthy right now. And if they continue to give you performances like last night, Jacob deGrom, even though he did let up 3 runs, but still he gave you a winning performance. That's where it all starts. You're only as good as your next day's pitchers. You know that. And the Mets have no excuses now because this is it. This is go time, and you're healthy, except for Starling Marte. You are healthy.
Well, and Scherzer's coming back, and we will see him soon.
Yeah,
so
he's coming back, so it's just Starling Marte. That's the only one.
Yeah, that's the only one at this point. So, yeah, I mean, one game can definitely make you exhale, but I need to see more consistency from the offense. I have to see it because, one day of Daniel Vogelbach driving in some runs is not going to make me feel like Daniel Vogelbach's going to carry this team offensively for the next 2 weeks. I need to see
and
those guys.
got his first hit.
He did.
And he drove in a run, too.
Yeah,
so.
Good for him.
All right, so here we go. I mean, this is go time, I would hope that that's how the Mets will approach it. It's amazing how when a team wins, they look completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Than the lifeless bunch that we saw against the Cubs.
Well, it's when a team hits, really, is what it comes down to. When you're meekly going down, or there's runners on second and third and 1 out, and you pop out as opposed to getting the runner in. I mean, just so frustrating. Team looks dead. I mean, even if the team's completely locked in and the energy level is there, if you don't hit, it looks like you're not interested. And last night changed everything, and it was a really nice ceremony before the game for Roberto Clemente night, and they brought out a lot of the former Roberto Clemente winners. So it was sort of like a really, really nice night at Citi Field.
Yeah, and so last night started, it's all in conjunction with Hispanic Heritage Month that started yesterday.
Yeah.
And it will go all the way through the beginning of October. So it was a great ceremony. It looked good, and it just amplifies the Latin influence that has taken over Major League Baseball and has been a big part of Major League Baseball for so many years. And that's why everybody argues about who had the best season of all time and all this other stuff. Once you had the influx of players like Roberto Clemente and Hank Aaron and Jackie Robinson and everything, then I think you could say, okay, here's the best season of all time. But prior to that, I know Babe Ruth had a great season. Everybody loves Babe Ruth. I have nothing against Babe Ruth, but you could say whatever you want. He didn't play against players like this.
Absolutely not.
So I think that last night was a great ceremony, and it was a great. It just felt right. Everything feels good about it, and hopefully the Mets got a charge out of it last night, and they continue it all the way through the weekend, because I want to come here Monday.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be talking about, how well they played over the weekend, how well their pitchers played, and how well they hit.
So I've got a WFAN trivia question for you that pertains to last night's ceremony before the game.
Okay.
There was somebody on the field last night participating in that ceremony who had a weekly show on WFAN.
Had a weekly show.
A weekly show for at least a year on WFAN. Someone who was on that field last night. Who knows the answer to this?
All right, it was one of the former players?
It was not one of the former players. That narrows it down a little bit.
Yes.
I can't. Eddie's got to know this. I thought you were going to jump in right away.
Well, I didn't hear what game you were talking about.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were talking about the Chiefs game.
No.
Yes,
we moved on from that 6-7 minutes ago. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So you know the answer to this.
I do.
You have
No,
any idea?
I don't know the answer.
Any clue
Al
at all?
actually knows the answer.
Al, you know the answer.
Yes.
Okay.
I do now. I didn't at
Well,
first.
give
but
us
it
the
hit me.
answer.
Roberto Clemente Jr.
That is correct.
There you go.
Roberto Clemente Jr. Now, extra points. The name of the show and his co-host. I remembered all this. Didn't even have to look it up. Name of the show and his co-host. Saturdays on WFAN. Saturday nights. No one's going to have this.
It was a woman was
That's
the co-host.
Right. That's right. He's getting closer. When I saw Roberto Clemente Jr., just because I worked on that show a bunch.
Oh, you did? Okay.
A bunch when I was when I
What
was
year
there.
was that?
That was like 2006, like 2005, 2006, even before you guys started.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Roberto Clemente Jr., Tanya Colon, and it was called The Latin Beat. There you go. There's your WFAN trivia question of the day. Roberto Clemente Jr. last night, part of a great ceremony. Him and also his son throwing out the first pitch last night, which was very, very cool. So, yeah, Monday morning, what is going to be the story? This is why this time of year is so great. We got everybody in action.
That's right.
We got the Yankees. We got the Mets. We got the Jets. We got the Giants. We got the rest of the NFL. And I mentioned a couple days ago, I do think that because the Giants gave themselves a little breathing room in winning a game that they weren't supposed to win, and they're 1-0, even if they come out and don't play well, I think that the Jets and how bad they were in week 1 and how they play in this week 2 would probably be a bigger story. Now, we have no idea what's going on, but if the Mets were to lose the next 3 against the Pirates or the Jets were to come out and play really poorly again, that's probably the thing that we're going to talk about most on Monday morning.
Well,
and by the way, I don't want to see any of that. I want this to be a full-blown sweep, winner's weekend. We are on cloud 9 when we come in here.
A winner's weekend.
A winner's
How about
weekend,
that?
baby.
A winner's weekend. That's totally positive, and I love that. And I heard Al and Jerry talking about this as they were going off the air with their warm-up show. They were talking about Wink Martindale and his comments, and I think they're great. I think that's exactly, that's like a page out of Rex Ryan's book.
Yeah, and if you missed it, he was talking about the fans, and if you want to be a part of this turnaround, then you got to get here early and scream at the top of your lungs.
We
and make
need
this,
you, and then we'll take care of the rest.
Right, and make this place a place that people don't want to come in and play us and all of that, which is real big-time football guy speak.
Yeah,
that's what
but I love
was.
that. But that's a page right out of the playbook of Rex Ryan.
Right, very similar guys.
That's how he spoke to the Jet fan.
Mm-hmm, that is right.
I need you to show up and be a part of our team. I need you to be, as they say in Seattle, the 12th man.
Yeah, the 12s.
Right. So I kind of like that. I think I would, if I were a Giant fan and I were going to the game on Sunday, I would be jacked for that.
Listen, they have not started 1-0 since 2016. That is a long time. The Giant fan has been watching terrible football for the last number of years, the worst team in the league, some of the worst football we have ever seen from them. This stretch has been awful. They go into Tennessee. They win the game. There is hope for the franchise. They're coming home. They've got 3 games at home. They're winnable games. The Carolina Panthers are not an intimidating group. You're tailgating before that game. You're putting on your Giants jerseys. You're throwing that 26 Saquon Barkley jersey on, and you are feeling damn good about the team. Now, that could turn on a dime, as we know, but right now, this Friday, Saturday, and then before kickoff, you better be into it. You better be screaming, and you better be taking Wink Martindale's advice.
We often sit around here, and we always say, why can't it happen to one of the New York teams? Why can't one of the New York teams just be the surprise or whatever?
Yeah.
I could make an argument that the Giants had the biggest upset of the weekend.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because if there are teams that are playing within their division, like Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati, right? Those teams know each other. Here's the defending number 1 seed in the AFC. You're going on the road to them, and you have a new coach. You've jettisoned some players because you have to clean up the salary cap, and you don't know what you're going to get out of Saquon Barkley. And then you go down there, and Saquon Barkley outplays Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And I could make an argument that in week 1, the biggest upset of the week was the victory by the New York Giants.
Yeah, I would think it's either that or Seattle and Denver, but Seattle was playing at home in that game, so you got to give a tip of the cap to the Giants for going into Tennessee, being down 13-0, and then storming back. I mean, it was definitely the most surprising win, I'll tell you that much, because they were playing terribly in the first half and came all the way back.
Yeah, I just think that, and then, of course, what's the next thing you do? And what we do Monday morning? We looked at their upcoming schedule, and then you look at the quarterbacks they're playing, including Baker Mayfield this weekend, and you're saying to yourself, okay, we can hang with these teams as long, and believe me, Wink Martindale's not going to make it easy for Baker Mayfield. He's going to be all over him. He's going to be blitzing. He's going to be all over him. And, maybe they get Kayvon Thibodeau back this week.
Yeah, it sounds like it. He was very positive, and it'll be great to see him, the number 5 overall pick, get his first NFL action. All right, a feel-good Football Friday on the Fan and CBS Sports Network. It's Boomer and Gio.